Hi, I hope you're well. Today is Monday the 2nd of October. It's actually a public holiday here, so I haven't had to go to work today, which was awesome. And I'm going to be talking about what I've been up to today. I honestly haven't really felt like filming at all today. It's about 5 o'clock now, and it's good that I need daylight because it really forces me to just get it done because the daylight's going to go soon. It's a really rainy, miserable weather day here that has been really nice and cozy. So yeah, I've been forced to film because the light's going to go soon, and once I'm doing it I always get into it, but a lot of the time I don't feel like talking to a camera about what I'm working on and trying to figure out what to say. Like, it's still uncomfortable, but anyway, that's part of the reason that I'm doing this. So this morning Steve and I slept in, which is so nice. We don't often get to sleep in together, once a week usually at the most, so it was really nice to have that for the public holiday. So we woke up at about 8:30 and I had breakfast, and then I started my blogging for the day. So I put up the latest vlog, which was actually meant to get published like this morning while I was asleep, but I hadn't done it yesterday. So I was kind of beating myself up about that, and I was just feeling really overwhelmed and just like there wasn't enough time to get everything done and all of that. And yeah, so I spent most of the morning in that state of mind till about midday. I was getting my podcast up on different like Podbean and all those different places, trying to figure out how to get it up on SoundCloud, like all of that stuff. So I was working through that. I did get some stuff done, but it was sort of coming from this place of like there's not enough time, like a really negative place. So at midday Steve was like, do you want to come to the gym? Normally I do my own workouts, like I go to a different gym and do the group classes there, but it's public holiday, so that gym was closed and I didn't feel like going to the gym at all. And I had already been thinking there was not enough time to get everything done, so I was even more like, oh, now I'm gonna have even less time. But I could feel that I was in like a really like not a productive headspace, and that I was really just being driven by like scarcity and time running out and feeling like scattered. So I decided to go to the gym and enjoy it. Like when I was at the gym, I wasn't telling myself like this is what I should be doing, like I should be doing something productive. I just actually enjoyed it. I was like, I just really need to sweat. So I did the stair climbing machine and a few other bits and pieces. Like my real goal was just to get sweaty, and then I practiced doing my handstands for about 10 minutes at the end, which was really fun. I'm getting better. I can nearly hold it for like a second. Anyway, so I did that, and while I was at the gym, I listened to one of Brooke Castillo's podcast episodes. It's actually her most recent episode at the time I'm speaking about it, and it's called, I don't know, actually, it's something to do with burnout, and I listened to that literally 4 times, so it's only a 15-minute episode, but I find with a lot of personal development things, the first time, like my brain's kind of just getting used to the ideas, and then the second time I listen to it, like when I hear the first bit again, I have the context of where she's going, so it settles in a bit more. And then I find that every time I listen to it, I pick up something that I hadn't picked up before. So like I find it often more valuable with that kind of podcast. Like with it, I even do it with interviews, but with a podcast that is teaching a certain idea or whatever it is, I feel like I would rather listen to that same thing, if it's good, 4 times than 4 new podcast episodes, just because I really do find that I get so much value from listening to it again and again, and it just really seeps into my brain. And then of course you have to actually apply it. So I was listening to her talk about burnout, and it was just so relevant to exactly what I was experiencing this morning, which is probably why I listened to it again and again. I was like, I really need this message today. And just about how burnout is basically when you're working. I'll link the episode below because I highly recommend listening to that. But basically, burnout is when you are working from this really negative scarcity mindset, like there's not enough time, I'm not good enough, I need to, like all of those kinds of thoughts. And like I think she used the words like you're trying to fight off failure, and you're rushing, like you're really trying to get to that result quickly because you think you'll feel different when you get there. And when she was speaking about how you can actually do a lot of work without burning out if you're in the right mindset, because burnout comes from the mindset, not from the work. And it's really true because or at least it's true for me, like I know when I'm working and I'm really letting myself enjoy the process, and I'm really either excited about it, or like you would have had the experience too where you can work on something for a big amount of time, like often days and days in a row, and you don't burn out. And it's because of the way you're thinking about it. And yeah, it's not coming from that horrible place. It's a positive thinking that's driving it, not negative thoughts. So yeah, so she's talking about that. And as you probably already know, I'm enrolled in her Self-Coaching Scholars online program. And for the month of October, which is the first full month I'll be doing it, the focus for the month is organizing your life and your mind. And when I heard that was a topic, I was like, oh, that sounds so good. So when I came home, I was like, I really just want to get into the work for the month. It's the 2nd today, so because this is the first month as well, I forgot that there's like a daily activity. So I didn't do the one for yesterday, but the idea is not to catch up, just to like keep going. So I didn't go back and do day 1, though the questions for day 1 were the same as day 2 and the same for every day of the month. It's like a daily reflection kind of thing. Anyway, the rain's getting nice and heavy. So I did that, and it's amazing. Like this morning I was thinking like I have no time to do anything, and I was really in this place of like there's not enough time. And in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, it's already 10 a.m. Like 10 a.m. is the beginning of the day, and I'm still like, oh my God, there's not enough time. And it's horrible to work from that place. It's not productive. I find that when I'm in that mentality, I'm not more productive. Fine to be there if I was more productive, but I procrastinate more when I'm in that mentality. So yeah, this one is like there's not enough time. And then once I went to the gym, got sweaty, cleared my head, was listening to Brooke's wisdom, came home, and I was like, you know what, I'm not going to just jump straight back into like my mess of tasks. I'm going to sit down and begin to do the work for the month. And I'm just so inspired and I'm feeling really motivated. Like each of the weeks is set up, there's a portion for organizing. Like each week you're organizing your thoughts in a certain way, which is just a lot of thought work and reflection and that kind of thing. And then also each week there's a certain like physical thing to organize. So I have been speaking about already how I want to organize my closet, which is part of week 1. My wardrobe, or my cupboard, I call it a cupboard. So I'm going to be doing that. I need to actually plan when I'm going to do it. I'm just trying to think of whether it's better to do it like tomorrow or it's better to do it like Friday morning. I'm going to decide that today and put it in my calendar, but I'm just really feeling motivated to get organized, just because of the way that Brooke talks about organization is really, it's based around organizing your thoughts and everything. Like it does, basically I feel like it doesn't matter what you do as long as it's coming from the right place. And a lot of us like hold on to things, like physical things, that it's coming from like a scarcity negative place, not from like a abundant love place. And also when I say the word abundant, I feel so woo-woo, but I mean abundant as in having lots of stuff. Like often we hold on to things because we're scared everything will run out and we'll have nothing left. Anyway, I'm really, really excited to be just doing the work on myself. I'm getting organized. I've done like my cupboard. Let me show you. I think I've shown you before. It is like, that's all my clothes basically. Then I have, I don't know what you can see. I do the KonMari method of folding, which means you just fold things so that they're actually like sitting upright instead of stacking them like you would if you're merchandising them, just so you can pick out what you want, nothing else moves, and you don't have to sort through anything while it's getting dark. So I'm going to be doing that, and I've already done it, but I know that there's going to be stuff that I can, as she would say goodbye to. And yeah, so I'm going to be doing that this week. I think for the day that I do it, I'm going to try and film it, and I might edit that one because it would be very long, but I'm going to figure out when to do that, and then I'll show you that process. It's basically just taking everything out, every single thing, and then like cleaning the actual cupboard if it needs it, and then going through and asking, I think the question she said to ask from memory, is it serving me? Is it current or outdated? There's another one, I can't remember, but I will talk about it in the vlog that I do when I clean that out. My bookshelf is pretty clean, but there are some books that I'm not going to be reading in there. Like, I'm the kind of person, as I've said before, that if I read a book and I don't like it, I'm not a trooper. I just give up. Like, don't give up. I'm just like, okay, that book wasn't for me, or it's not the right time for me. I'm just gonna let it go. So I did the color coordination thing, red, yellow, all the way down to black. But yeah, I want to donate or sell or do something with those books that I'm not going to be reading. Like, such a good example of a book, such a good example of my willingness to abandon a book. Sorry, it's getting really dark now outside because there's a storm. It's so cozy. I want to get some tea. Is Emma Cline, The Girls. It's about a cult, and I'm always fascinated by a cult. I feel like I'm fascinated by them because it's like all psychology, really, like just the way that the whole thing's set up to convince everyone to just fascinates me. So it's a fiction book, but I was reading that, and it's a weird book. I don't know, I wouldn't recommend it, and I'm probably a chapter out from finishing, and I'm never going to finish it. Like, I have no desire to find out how it finishes. I have no desire to spend any more time reading a book that I'm not enjoying. There are plenty of books that I would love to read, so I'm willing to let it go. So there are things like that as well, and part of it's like when I look at my bookshelf and I see a book that I haven't enjoyed, like, it doesn't feel good to constantly be reminded about a book I haven't enjoyed. And one thing I love that Brooke said in the video I was watching was that, or in the workbook, was that it's a waste. Like, because so a lot of people are like, I don't want to throw it out, I don't want to waste it, don't want to, like, people that way around wasting food. To me, I don't have that problem because I see it's either a waste if it's in the bin, or it's a waste if I eat it and I wasn't hungry. Like, just because it's physically I'm just a physical bin. That makes sense. Like, it's no different from me eating it to actually putting it in the bin if I wasn't hungry or getting like any satisfaction or anything from that food. I'm just eating it because I don't want to waste it. So I don't have that problem with food. But yeah, she was saying as well, like, if you have a possession and you're not using it and it's not useful, you're wasting it. So, which doesn't mean start using it. It just means if, like, people are scared to throw things out because they don't want to be wasteful, and being scared of waste is a real, like, scarcity mentality, because it's just this whole, like, there's not enough, I need to use every little thing I have. I don't want to, like, not use things properly and all of that, but it's a waste sitting in my cupboard not using it, especially when I could give it to someone else who would use it. So yeah, just very interesting. I'm feeling very inspired and motivated, and just really